Good morning, Rockstars, and welcome back to the Quilting Rockstars. My name is Holly Ann Knight of String and Story, and it is my job to guide you to quilt with confidence. Rockstars, we are T-minus 5 days to QuiltCon. I just had a panic attack on the inside. That was meant to be an exciting sentence, and then I freaked myself out. But regardless, we're very excited about the show, even as we have lots and lots to do. We are here making bundles, and I'm actually working on a lovely Heirloom Hearts quilt for our booth. I'm not down to the wire or anything. Now, as always, I've got resources for you in the caption of this video. So I went ahead and linked the Heirloom Hearts pattern. It is a lo and behold stitchery pattern, which that means that it's written really well and has fabulous directions and diagrams because Brittany is very, very good at what she does. And I am working with all Fabulism fabrics for this sample. So I've got a few of the Sprout wovens here that I'm using as my background. And let me dig all my pieces out. I shoved all of my pieces into this project bag this morning to be able to bring it back to the shop. Hey, Jessie. Hey, Asta. Hey, Francie Joe. But let me show you the other. So this is what my background little Irish chains are going to look like. I didn't quite think through how very Gryffindor this quilt was going to be before I got going on it, but I am 0% mad about it. So these are the little background chains. That's what we're going to work on together today. And then we have all of these darling hearts with the arcade wovens. So the whole point of this quilt is really showing off how these plaids look really fabulous in a quilt. And, I think something worth mentioning is you don't have to pattern match these plaids for them to look really wonderful. They did a great job designing these that they cut up and piece back together really, really well. So we are excited to get to show these off. Hey, Carolyn. Hey, Karen. Good to see y'all. I think I might be repeating colors now. So y'all get the idea. So today I'm going to start. I have lots of pressing to do. I have pressing matter. I got some piecing to do as well. So we're going to work on these chains. So Brittany very wisely has you take strips of your background colors and then subcut into these little trio units. So you're never fiddling with squares. You're never working with anything smaller than a little strip like that. So I've got a whole bunch of these that still need their third buddy on them. And then I've got a few of them that already have their third buddy. That need to be pressed. So we're going to start there today. These look like a little chain of mermaid purses in the ocean or something. I see sharks everywhere. All right. So we're going to press them to be like that. All right. Now the other link that I have down in the caption of this video for y'all is, let me scoot this back so y'all can watch our lovely sunflower thread cutter at work. Obsessed with this little thread cutter. Because you just floss your bits through and it pulls them right apart for you. Some of these have two threads to cut. The second link in the caption of this video is I have a blog all about working with these Fabulism fabrics. As you can see, they are a looser weave than regular quilting cotton, and so they require a lot of starch. And some bits of this quilt I did a really good job starching, and some bits honestly could have used a little bit more. But I wrote a whole blog about really experiencing success with these because the texture and the colors and all of that is absolutely phenomenal. But I want you to have a good experience sewing with them. So we put together our tips and tricks and got those all ready and in one place. Hey, Selwyn, how are you? All right, I know someone's coming to QuiltCon. Jessie's coming to QuiltCon. Who else is coming that I get to see in person? And what are you looking forward to most? And then, even before then, what are you working on today? I would love to know what's up with you. All right, floss these little guys through. Yes, we have these sunflower thread cutters in the shop as well. They come in 3 different colors. They're fantastic. Hello, Kate Brennan. Kate, are y'all driving all your stuff down again this year? Also, Leslie's here. She's looking at me like, you think I'm going to come over there and be on camera? Are y'all driving all your stuff down? How is your packing going? All of that. Let me know. All right. I will say the one thing I don't like about this pattern, and this is entirely personal preference. Kate says hello with many O's at the end. The one thing I don't like about this pattern, and this is entirely personal preference, is that you press all the seams open. And it's for good reason, because there's a lot of seams and it makes it a lot flatter. But I always burn my fingers when I press seams open. So I'm always a little nervous about it. But look how cute. All right, and I'm going to tell y'all right now, I aimed for progress, not perfection on this quilt. So some of these little 9 patches are little wonky ducklings. They're wonky donkeys today. It just is what it is. I decided it was more important to make progress on the quilt than to get everything perfect. Let's see. You're driving, you have a huge pile of stuff on the second floor. Oh my goodness. We just have to drive from here to downtown, and I'm already experiencing anxiety about loading everything up and making sure we have it all. My goodness. You're unquilting. Oh no, Kate, what happened? Francie Jo says, I'm pulling out the next UFO to work on. Just have to decide which one. Ooh. What are the options, Francie Jo? I love how many of y'all are making really committed progress on your unfinished projects right now. You're finishing your PhDs. Project's half done. The only one I hear. Someone says, hoping to start quilting my Meta Mist Designs board and batten. We'll be stitching about 1 million plume peacock feathers. Oh, that's amazing. That's going to be absolutely fabulous. I got to turn up the brightness, y'all. I can't read your comments. My eyes are not this good. Oh, that's as bright as it's going to go. Excuse me. Someone says to help with no burnt fingers, get some of the silicone finger thimbles. You know, that is a really good idea. If only there wasn't such a low percent chance of me actually wearing them, even if I possessed them. You don't like the ruler work on your candy, so you're going to do wishbones instead. That's a good plan. Hang on, I'm going to mute myself for a second, y'all, because this is a big cough. All right, I think I spared y'all at least part of that. Pulling all of this out of the project bag, I think I kicked up all the little fabric fibers. Let's see. Mitzi says, I have several fiddly projects in January. I finished 10 tops from the vault. That is incredible, Mitzi. Phenomenal. Francie Jo says, too many choices to type. We'll probably pick a block of the month. I finished 4 months, just 8 to go. Oh, that's perfect. I love this plan. Fabulous plan. That's part of my logic on having these 9 patches done rather than perfect is I don't need this to turn into an unfinished project. Hillary and I went through the back room a couple of weeks ago now, and we were just tidying up, getting everything organized as we prep for QuiltCon. And I was shocked, truly shocked at how many started quilts there were back there that we started at some point over the last year to be project samples, and then it just kind of died on the line. And it's funny because if you had asked me, I would have been like, I have one significant unfinished project, and that is my 100 days, 100 blocks. And then I have a few tops that need quilting. And I would have been like, in the grand scheme of things, not too bad. And then I'm digging around back there and I'm like, oh my goodness gracious. I have started and not finished more things in the last year than in the previous 3 years combined. So we're making sure this gets done. Let's see. Asta says, still trying to finish last year's color builder so I can start this year's. Yes, Asta, so good. Kate, I need to send you a picture from Ruler Quilting Academy. One of the Rockstars posted their Flora quilt, and they did a bunch of ruler work on it, and it is absolutely phenomenal. Also, Kate, this is a memo from me to you. We need to talk about which quilts that I have hanging here that you need back, which we don't need to talk about now, but I keep forgetting to text you and be like, hey, do you need these back at QuiltCon? Deborah says, good morning from Bakersfield. Just headed into work. I love that. Francie Jo says, I need to buy batting to finish my tops. Big snowstorm coming in this afternoon, so no shopping for a day or two. Oh, yeah, that makes sense. Piecing. Honestly, I would not be entirely mad about a snowstorm right now. Snow me in with my fabric. Hillary would be mad. She just made the face. She doesn't like this plan.
I don't think I do. I don't think I like that idea.
All right, in that case, I need it to be sunny and 75 for camping this weekend.
That's fine.
Oh, perfect. Thank you, Kate. That's very helpful. Karen is working on the 2022 Killer Builders. Love it. Someday I'll circle back to mine. I guess that is my other significant unfinished project. Because I need to finish those because then my children have 2 different block of the months to fight over for which one they want hanging in which room. Because they were sharing a room when we started, and I was like, perfect. On one wall, we'll put endangered species, and on the other wall, we'll put flora, and then they'll just have a very biology room. But now they have separate rooms, and they're going to have to fight about it. And in reality, Jim wants animals, and Ian wants the plants. But the moment the other one says something, they're going to fight. Because apparently that's how siblinghood works. I wouldn't know. I'm an only child, and watching my children navigate this, I'm like, this is very good, like social education for them to figure out this interpersonal stuff. And also, I'm very glad I was an only child. John considered it the highlight of his week that he convinced me to share food on Valentine's Day.
I'm not an only child. I do not share my food.
Hillary's like, yeah, that would have still been a no from me. We wanted all the same things, but I just didn't really understand why he couldn't order his stuff and I would order my stuff, and then I would steal what I wanted of his because that's how it works, right? But he convinced me to actually go splitsies, so shout out to him. I think we got extra fries that way, though, so there were benefits. All right. I have not burned my fingers yet, y'all, which this tells me an important thing. What this tells me is that if I am pressing fiddly little seams open, I need to use my mini iron. Higher rate of success. I think this year is going to have to be the year that I finish that 100 days, 100 blocks, y'all. I keep thinking about it, and this seems to be the year of foundation paper piecing. I think it's going to have to be the year. I think I am blocked on finishing it because I haven't decided how I want to quilt it, which is greatly ironic given how much we talk about quilting plans. So maybe what I need to do is sit down and make a quilting plan for it. Maybe that will solve my problems. So I'm inspired by all of y'all who are finishing all of your unfinished things. All right, scoot those over. Got a nice little pile going. What else have y'all been working on? Excuse me. Oh, those of you who are waiting, by the way, on the cutting mats to go with your light boxes, they finally arrived. So those should go back out today. So with any luck, y'all will get them over the weekend. Finally, hallelujah. It took forever. It took forever. All right. I will say pressing these seams open is way easier than pressing quilting cotton open. Oh, Mitzi, I am working on Heirloom Hearts. It's theoretically for our QuiltCon booth because we want to show off all the lovely plaids and how pretty they like cut up and come back together. And then I've got sprout wovens for the little Irish chains. Aren't they nice? So yeah, so I'm pressing open all my little 9 patches. And I think that these fabrics, it's easier to kind of get those seams apart and get your fingers in there without scorching them, which is really nice. And you haven't finished your 100 days, 100 blocks either. Yeah, it was a doozy. It's such a good one though, man. It'll come. It'll come. I keep saying that. We talk about it all the time. One of these days I'm going to be like, look, I finished it. And then we will all gasp in shock because I've only been talking about it since 2019, which in my brain is last year. But that is coming up on 4 years ago, which is really embarrassing when I think about it. So it was summer 2019. We crossed the 3-year anniversary of the great ankle break of 2020 this week too. The first ankle break. It's the great one because I broke it in 3 places and not just one. And I celebrated the occasion by finally completing a bouldering route that was very similar to the one that broke my ankle. That was a great sense of accomplishment. I texted a video of it to my mom, and before she commented on me doing it, she goes, "Did you get injured this time?" I was like, "No injury, just excitement." She was like, "In that case, I'm very proud of you." Which honestly felt like a fair response because my children were at her house when I broke it the first time. And John was picking them up, and he got a panicked phone call from the friend who was with me being like, "You have to come now and collect Holly Ann and take her to the urgent care." And John, my sweet John, who is excellent in nearly every way, got there and had the audacity to look at me and go, "Maybe we could just take you to Dr. Mario and like he could x-ray it." For context, Dr. Mario is my chiropractor. And I was like, "No, this is time for an urgent care. We're going to need an orthopedist." And he said, "Are you sure it's broken?" And yeah, I was like, "We all heard it. We know it's broken." So the great ankle break. And so began the woes of 2020. Perfect. Speaking of, John and my parents are texting me now. So funny. But yeah, time, man. Time is wild. And it's amazing how these last few years have really blurred together. Let's see, Marion says, "Love the hearts." Thank you. I'm very excited about them. I can only claim credit for one of the hearts, though. Darcy pieced the other ones. She was helping me out on this. But I love how they're going to come together. Let's see, Mitzi says, "A friend of mine will be at QuiltCon, but alas, not me." Aw, Mitzi, bummer. One of these years, have them pop by the booth. We're gonna have goodies. We have some nice goodies for some of the early customers at the booth. I'm just saying, we have planned treatos. These are actually significantly less wonky than I thought they were. I would just like to say, like they look all right. I'm here for it. All right, upcoming things at String and Story before our time completely gets away from me. Obviously, the huge thing on the horizon is QuiltCon. If you are going to be here, we would love to see you. We will be in booth 1313. Yes, Susie, I absolutely would utilize, well, okay, asterisk. I would absolutely use MARTA to get from the airport up into Midtown. I would be aware of the time of day. I'm assuming you're going to come in like within, relatively normal business hours, in which case you should be fine. MARTA can get a little sketchy after hours. So just be aware of your surroundings, just like you would traveling in any city. But yes, MARTA should take you pretty directly up into the city. Where are y'all staying, Susie? I'm assuming you're staying at a hotel like right there, because there's a MARTA station not far at all from America's Mart. So that would be my recommendation. Honestly, I'm not even planning to have a car down there. I'm going to Uber down is my current plan and not have to deal with a car in the city. It's not worth the trouble. Someone says, "I remember your ankle woes well since I was in that FMQA cohort. I can't believe it's been almost 3 years since I graduated." That spring 2020 cohort, I feel like there was no good way to capture the resilience of y'all, that you just kept chugging along. Because I broke my ankle and then the world closed. And y'all just kept going. You were like, we have eyes on the prize. Absolutely phenomenal. What a time. What a time. We kept each other sane. Airbnb close to all the QuiltCon places. That's absolutely perfect, Susie. That's really, did y'all get one of those really cool high-rise Airbnbs in one of the big condo buildings? Because those looked really cool. I looked at those. We just had too many people, so we went the hotel route. But those looked incredible. All right, so upcoming things, QuiltCon. If you're going to be there, we are booth 1313. We would love to see you. As I mentioned, there are links in the caption of this video. And so that includes a link to this pattern. Of course, you'll find all of these fabrics in our shop as well, and a link to the blog talking about how to effectively starch these fabrics to have the best experience. They do require a little extra starch and pressing, but they are worth the trouble because they are so fabulous. And then the final link, there is a link to our Quilting Rockstar library. So this is a new resource that we're building. And consistently, some of the best feedback I get is about the workbooks that we create for different online events. And so we have started creating versions of those workbooks that we can offer as standalone downloads. And we deliver them straight to your inbox, and they're just incredible resources, either for keeping on hand as a refresher for some of the skills that we've built together, or if you're brand new to some of those skills, getting started right in the comfort of your own sewing space. There is one in there as well. Let's see, we just put up the Confident Ruler Quilting Workbook. And we are going to be relaunching Ruler Quilting Academy in March. So if you either were part of the FMQA students that it filled up super fast and we weren't able to jump in there, or you've heard me talking about it and you're like, what is this course? I haven't seen this yet. Ruler Quilting Academy is coming back next month, and we have some really fun stuff planned between now and then. And a great way to make sure that you don't miss any of that if you are interested in quilting with rulers is downloading that workbook. If you check back in here in the next few days, I've got a new one going up for y'all, the Confident Quilting Plan Workbook. That's going to be a companion to my lecture at QuiltCon this year. And we've got a few other fun things in there as well. So make sure you check that out. Make sure that you really make the most of these resources that we have available. And those are also an easy way to make sure you're on our email list. So as fun things happen, as we get to the other side of QuiltCon, and we'll have some fun treats and things for those of you who experienced QuiltCon from home, that will make sure that you are in the loop. All right, Rockstar Susie, I can't wait to see you. Kate, I can't wait to see you. Someone, I can't wait to see you. The rest of y'all who are coming, it's just a few days away. It's going to be fantastic. In the meanwhile, thanks for keeping me company while I did some pressing. Go check out those resources. And oh, one last important reminder. We will not have this live next week for obvious reasons because I will be on the QuiltCon floor, but do make sure that you have subscribed to my YouTube channel so you get notifications when I do go live, because at some point next week, I'm going to find 30 minutes or an hour, and we're going to walk part of the QuiltCon show floor together. And this is one of my favorite QuiltCon traditions. I do it every year, of going live and giving y'all an opportunity to literally walk through the quilts with me. We highlight some of my favorites, and we get up close and talk about technique and interesting observations about the quilts. So if you're not going to be there in person, like I said, make sure you've hit subscribe so that you can catch that when it goes up. And then, of course, I'll do a QuiltCon recap afterwards as well. All right. Have a fabulous rest of your Thursday, Rockstars. I'm going to finish up pressing these. And if you're local, we're open from noon to 5 today. We'd love to see you here. Bye for now.